Success! Failure!
Alert the clerk captain, Kirk Clapton.
Today, Tuesday, January 5th, 2016. Synchronicities on Mulligan Day, or The Problem with Everything. Hey everybody, I'm Holiday Rob.
I'm Lowki Sapfoot.
And today's episode is a rambler. It's a rambler, but we talk about a couple movies. One that we've been talking about, a franchise we've been talking about the whole time.
Yeah.
Star Wars.
Yeah, maybe we should have called this episode Sorry About the Star Wars again.
Sorry about the Star Wars AIDS.
More Star Wars, sorry.
But then I also bring up the movie, which I just saw, called Whiplash, and the excitement of that, and the kind of really the death. There's a moment where they lament the death of jazz. So, when we were watching it, I was like, it doesn't matter how good of a musician you ever were at any point or time. People are always starving to death or overdosing on drugs in every genre of music, pretty much, even classical, man.
Yeah, and if they're not, the music they're making is not that good.
No.
You know what I'm saying? It gives you that. You got to have the hunger, as Zoltan would say.
Right. Good old Zoltan.
Yeah. So it's the first episode of the year. We're supposed to have a guest as our resolution stipulated.
Right.
Or a topic. Neither of those things worked out. So you'll enjoy rambly, subject-changing Star Wars nonsense.
Yay.
Yeah. It'll be good.
They'll love it. But we mentioned a contest at the end, which I guess we can mention now.
Yeah, let's mention it. No one makes it to the end. Let's mention it at the beginning.
Hey, so if you got artistic skills or you just like art... Actually, if you just like art, we're going to give you a couple of different logos to vote on because we're going to make a logo.
Yeah, we want to.
Why not?
We want to make like an official logo for The Problem with Everything. If you want to submit a logo, we might consider it. So email it.
And either way, it'll be online on our social medias.
Yeah, you can. Well, if you send us something, we'll definitely repost it, even if we don't make it like the official thing. If you actually feel like taking the time to like draw a picture of us or whatever to make some sort of cool tag that says The Problem with Everything, none of you probably will. Nobody cares. But if you want to, hit us up. We're on the Facebook, The Problem with Everything. You can find me on Twitter at Sapfoot, and you're on Twitter too, right?
I'm a Holiday Rob, not a holiday, just Holiday Rob, one word.
At Holiday Rob.
Yeah.
You can also find us. We play the video games. If you want to hit us up on there, you can't really send us a logo through there, but you could hit us up on there.
You can join us on any of the various networks. Yeah.
I'm on Xbox Live. I play some hockey, some other things on Xbox One. Live World 23 is my gamer tag. I'm also on the Nintendo Network. We can do some Smash Bros.
Sick.
Yeah, it's the best. It's so good. Yeah, we could do some Smash Brothers. If you want to hit me up on there, it's Lowki Sapfoot, just like it's spelt on the podcast with a W. If you
want to get a hold of me, it's holiday_sale on the PlayStation Network. I play PS3. On the PS3, I play Battlefield 3, I play Dust 514, and I play Wipeout Fusion HD. So, racing and two for first-person shooters.
Have you ever played Rocket League?
No.
Looks cool. It's like soccer with cars.
Really?
So there's a big ball, and you drive your car.
That sounds great.
And it's like a multiplayer online.
I just want to do that in person.
Right? They should do that. They should make real life Rocket League.
Can we put people we don't like in the middle of the ball, and then when they get knocked around, it just turns into a meat grinder?
We can do that.
You open a hatch, and they just come out in like a sludge, a slurry.
That sounds a little rough. I don't know if... I don't know.
I mean, we could do it on Mulligan Day.
There you go. Yeah. Listen later to find out what the fuck Mulligan Day even is.
Yeah,
right?
It's exciting.
I mean, I guess it's pretty obvious. Mulligan Day.
Right.
Yeah, you should also, if you haven't, subscribe to us on iTunes.
Yes, we are on iTunes. You can search for us at The Problem with Everything.
Yeah, and then that shit'll just show up on your phone or your computer or whatever automatically.
I use it.
Yeah, me too. I was listening to my own voice and masturbating right before you got here.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Awesome.
We record at Rob's place, and he went out to walk the dog and left me waiting in his living room because we were waiting on our guest, which, whatever. But
what did you do with your life?
While I waited
for guests.
Right. Well, while I was waiting for Rob and the dog to come back, I threw on some headphones, whipped my dick out, and rubbed one out to my own voice.
Pleasure to yourself. It's pretty sweet.
Yeah, it was wonderful.
Yeah, I don't know. Sometimes the girls get a little weird at that in the car.
Fuck them.
I'm like, don't change the channel. Shh, no. It's me.
If your girlfriend can't appreciate your unending narcissism, then you need to
What is she doing with you?
Right. You need to find someone who's way more sycophantic. Anyway.
Yeah, you can also get a hold of us on Facebook. The Problem with Everything is also on Facebook.
Yeah.
And there we should be posting more topics that we talk about online. Like every time I see a Star Wars thing, I'm always like, need to share that. I'm just never on a computer is the problem.
Your phone doesn't do that shit?
No. Facebook on my browser is so... Like
There's not an app.
I don't use the Facebook app. It's creepy, and I've had enough internet creepiness.
Yeah.
My computer was... Somebody was trying to hijack it once upon a time, like years ago, but I haven't like changed anything because last time I updated anything, it just like stopped working. So I'm using it in this like tenuous way where it's like someone had almost taken control of my internet browser, but it still works and everything else, and it is still safe.
You need an upgrade.
I know. I need a new computer in general.
Somebody email us, hit us up on Facebook, and we'll give you an address. You can send Rob checks, and they can upgrade us.
Yeah.
Send me checks, too. Send us some checks.
Donate.
Checks mix.
We do this we've done this almost for a year for free.
Yeah.
We're gonna hit 1 year anniversary here in March.
Yeah.
It's been good. It's been great. It's been a podcast worth listening to the whole fucking time.
Apparently not, because no one really does. But hey, we're going to keep trying.
It's all right. It wasn't until year 10 that some band hit it big.
Right. Anyway, we should play a song to start us, to kick us off.
Cheer these people in?
Yes, to cheer you in.
Cheer you in?
What?
I have no idea. Just making things up now.
What are we gonna do? We didn't think about this ahead of time. What's the song?
That's all right.
Where do we go with this?
We're gonna do some Bat Wings, man.
Right. Which one? Let's do Privatized Survival.
Okay.
It's been a while since we did that song.
I thought that, so it would shoot towards your brain, and then you fucking said it. So
that's why.
There we go.
That's why
Synchronicity,
this works, man.
on Mulligan Day.
Yeah, enjoy Privatized Survival by Batwings for Lab Rats.
Yeah.
Success. Failure. Success. Failure.
Hello? Check.
Microphone.
Sounds all right?
Sounds aight. Sounds aight.
Repreach aight.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're here. Our guest isn't.
It's all right. We're basically what's happening is we're faster at the space-time continuum than most people.
Right.
So they just don't make it to the podcast.
Yeah, it's because we're exceptional. Others can't keep up. Yeah, so all of our resolution talk of guests and coherent topics. First podcast of the new year. Nah.
Not so much.
This was going to be the year, man. This is going to be the year I was going to turn it all around, and now
it's over. What? No,
now that our guest didn't show up,
you got an extra day. There's 200 or 366 days this year.
Oh, okay, so this day is the Mulligan.
Yeah.
From here on out, I got to be perfect till the 31st.
Yeah, exactly.
Shit. All right.
That's all right. I mean, you didn't know, but you failed and you used up one of your lives, and it was the only one you had.
It's good to have a Mulligan day this year. That's good.
That's what I had to do on the first, man. Things got too wild. I turned into a wild animal, and when I'm a wild animal, I watch Broad City, and Broad City is fucking hilarious.
Yeah.
So I came to the conclusion why I like that show so much. I mean, it's funny, and they're like They get the joke, you know, that everybody else gets, but they look like they're having such a good time doing it. You know, there's like a difference when it's like somebody's phoning it in, like a James Cameron movie, or
Yeah.
you know, like really super happy to be doing what they're doing, like somebody in their craft, like enjoying the shit out of it.
That's the key to everything, right?
I think so. I'd like to find that thing.
So, but if that's the case, then why is it that things that are popular are always just horse shit that people are going through the motions? Not always, obviously,
but it sure, these days it feels like it more and more.
Actually, I don't know if
are we just old people, or was it always like that?
In some ways, it's the best time, though.
Yeah.
Because there's more out there now.
Right.
There's more volume being created in every medium, right? So it's like TV-wise, there's more networks doing like new
actual shows. narrative TV programs.
TV-wise, it's the golden era as far as I'm concerned.
There's some good things happening. I'm still pretty tired of, like, I'm having sequelitis where I'm getting tired of seeing the same movies over and over again. But one that was popular was called, I don't know if you heard this movie called Whiplash.
No.
It's got the dude who plays the Hitler mustache from Spider-Man, the boss.
Oh, J. Jonah Jameson. You know what's weird is I was listening to Joe Rogan today, and they were talking about this movie.
Oh, really?
In a podcast that came out today.
Nice.
I've had mad synchronicities since New Year's Eve. Everything's just these weird coincidences like that. Like,
it's because time is all one moment. We just experience it linearly.
Right, because E equals MC squared. I don't know what that means, but apparently it means that time and space are the same goddamn thing.
Yeah.
Right, basically.
Yeah. When you move through space, you move through time.
So if you can move through space at will, theoretically, shouldn't you be able to move through time at will? Right? Am I off base here?
So if you stop moving, then
you die.
Then
that's the case in Donkey Kong Country. I'll tell you that much.
Well, here's the thing that's really interesting about that. So momentum, anytime you create inertia, anytime gravity is created, anytime gravity's around, time slows down. So if you had an atomic clock at the highest point on the Earth and the lowest point, they would be
the one at the highest
slightly
point would
different.
Be faster.
Yeah.
Right.
So I don't know. There you go. Create a gravity machine, and you've got time. You've got time.
Didn't somebody prove that if you built like a big enough, like planet-sized mechanism that you could move quickly enough that time travel is provably possible? Or am I wrong about that?
I don't know.
I don't know. We can't start talking about science. We may or may not have just gotten super high. So I apologize for the next 40 minutes or so, because we've already jumped subjects like 9 times and we're 4 minutes into this bitch.
Good. We're keeping the people interested. This whiskey is keeping my mouth interested, and we're keeping the people interested.
Yeah. The whiskey and starting this year off on the right foot, or the left foot, if you will.
This drunken moment brought to you by Buffalo Trace, Kentucky straight bourbon whiskey.
That's a cool label.
Oh, whiskey.
I mean, not that it matters because this is an audio format show.
But you can hear. Here's a fun thing to hear.
Ooh, yeah.
It's got a quirk. How exciting! Yes.
Yeah, we were supposed to have a guest as usual.
Yeah.
That shit didn't work out. I hope he's all right. I haven't heard from him.
Yeah.
I was thinking today, like, I should follow up, remind him.
Right.
People have busy lives, you know.
Yeah.
And I was like, nah, he's good for it. He's the homie. He's got this.
Right.
But I guess not.
It's all right. Mulligan.
Yeah, it's Mulligan Day.
Mulligan
Today
Day.
is Mulligan Day.
I dropped the baby. Mulligan Day.
Dude, I've always, like that movie, The Purge, you know?
Uh-huh.
I always had that was like a fantasy of mine, like growing up. Like if I could have one day that no matter what I did, it just reset and like that day never happened. But I remember it all, but no one else gets to. So like you could
like a Groundhog's Day kind of thing?
Right, but just once. Like just a one-time kind of deal. Like, so it's just one day. It's the Mulligan Day.
Yeah.
So like you could like murder your boss, spit in your math teacher's face, rape people, whatever you want to do.
If that's what you're into.
Yeah.
Not promoting it, but
because it's not even, I mean, I guess in the moment it's hurting them, but it's not even the real them, because they're going to wake up the next day and not even ever know that you experienced murdering them or raping them or whatever. So, not that I want to rape and murder people. I don't know why I jumped to that example.
but just as extreme as you can get. Something you can't take back. Things that you can't undo.
Right.
Yeah.
Like, I want to know what it's like to jump off a building and die. Like, let's try
Or
it.
not die, but yeah, jump off the building and just see the...
Yeah, and if you had that day, like just me and my friends or whatever, would have anyone I choose gets to do it with me.
It sounds like,
this sounds like
it would be a fun, not X-Files, but
to me it would
Twilight
be
Zone.
That's what I was gonna say. It'd be like a Twilight Zone, because then like you decide like year 3 of doing this every year, you've done all the stuff. Like, what am I gonna do?
Right.
Like,
or it just gets really fucking weird because you invited some people and then some weird things start happening. I don't know. That could be a fun concept.
But here's the question. So if you can invite people, like say like year 2, all right, this year I'm going to invite Rob to do all this crazy shit with me, whatever we want to do.
Yeah.
Would we both remember what each other did? Because,
or just the personal experiences?
Right. How do you... But you'd remember the personal experience if the other people were part of it. Right. So you'd remember what your friend chose to do with you if they did something fucked up.
Right.
Like ruin your relationship with your friend. Like, dude, why would
you do that? What did an alligator ever do to you, man?
Yeah. I always had that fantasy though. It's like the Purge or whatever, but it's not horror.
Right.
It would be like more of a, I don't know, action.
It's psychological thing, I would think. But yeah, action-y. Why not? Steal a car, rob a bank.
Right, whatever. Like, I don't, and maybe nothing would hurt either, but I don't know how that would work, because pain and pleasure is a fine line.
Unfortunately, you're either gonna make it through the night or you're gonna die.
But it would be one of those things, because every time I go hiking, right, I think about, like, viscerally about getting eaten.
Right.
Like, if this happens today while I'm out here.
Bobcat just, like, shredding you to pieces with its, like,
I could probably take a
claws.
bobcat, but not like a cougar. Like a legit mountain lion.
Yeah.
I could probably punch a bobcat in the face and it would run away. I punched it in the eye, but
a
cougar would just hold me down and shred me.
Yeah.
And I always think about that, like what it would feel like. And I was stop and smoke or whatever on the trail, and then I keep walking, and I get deeper into the forest, and I start to think about it more, and I start to get freaked out and every little sound I hear. But if you could do the Purge Day, I don't want to call it that because it's my idea, not their idea.
Call it the reset.
I used to think of No Consequence Day.
Okay, yeah.
But I like Mulligan Day even better.
Yeah.
Or Mulligan Day. So if you had the Mulligan Day, and you chose to get, like, or not chose, but whatever, you get killed by the cops because you run on a rampage or whatever.
Right.
Every year, the fear of death and pain itself, mortal pain, the threat of that would be less to you because you've done it 3 times. Like, I've jumped off a building.
So it kind of dull the excitement of Mulligan Day every year if you if you knew that you weren't going to die, if there was the danger of the consequences. But that's interesting. I mean, if there's no consequences, what kind of world, you know?
Right. Well, that's why it's only one day though.
Okay.
So, because it's
forever and ever?
No, it's yearly.
Oh. Yeah. But it's one day a year.
But one day a year. So you just look forward to it and you're like, what am I going to do this No Consequence Day? What's Mulligan Day going to be like this year?
Right. Huh. Yeah. That could be fun. You could almost do a whole series on that.
Right.
Mulligan Day.
It's a good idea. If anybody steals that, I will hunt you down and I will choke you to death with my dick. So
I will kill you on Mulligan Day.
So don't act up. Act right, people.
Behave.
Don't steal my ideas. Actually, fuck it. Steal them. I'm never going to do anything with it. Take it.
Hey, Hollywood.
Just, like, put a little shout out to me in the foreword or whatever.
Are you disappointed that, speaking of, like, going off on, like, random tangents, are you a little disappointed that they still haven't done a Beavis and Butthead live action film?
Yeah. How have they not?
It just seems like that would happen at some point.
Yeah.
And it should happen, probably. Just because,
I wonder if they'll ever do a Simpsons one. They probably will.
I don't even know.
Someday.
Think so? I want to see the dramatic play.
A dramatic, not comedy at all.
Well, there could be like comedy in it, or it could be like it's still funny, but only because you know what the comedy of it was versus like, I don't know.
Right.
There's a way to do it. I'm not that clever or whatever. But we were talking about this movie Whiplash because of your synchronicity. Mm-hmm. And it was great, though.
We went back to the topic. Look at that. Nice. Good job, Rob. Kudos.
This ain't my Mulligan day yet. My Mulligan day already is gone. So I have to make the most of every other day. It was a good film, though. J.K. Simmons is the actor's name, who plays the...
J.K.
Yeah, right. And this other kid, I don't know, I forgot what his name is, who plays the protagonist, because J.K. Simmons is the antagonist.
So he's like the director of like the orchestra or something? Is that what it's about?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But he's like mean and he's just like kind of cruel.
See, now when I was listening to Rogan today, and he was talking about it, Aubrey Marcus was the guest, and they were talking about this movie. And he was saying the guy from like the Farmers Insurance commercials, and he's in that movie where he's like a band director. And I was like, no, it's not him. It's Richard Dreyfuss, Mr. Holland's Opus. You're thinking of the wrong guy. And then he started talking about Whiplash.
Mr.
So
Holland's
I was like,
Opus.
oh, I was wrong. I didn't. Okay, my bad. Anyway,
That's great.
so what's the premise of
But
this?
anyway, the premise is it's this like, you know, top of the world music conservatory, and this kid's wants to be Buddy Rich. He wants to be that good of a jazz drummer.
Okay, sorry to stop you again.
Yeah.
But this morning, first thing in the morning, I listened to Bill Burr's podcast, and he got a letter from a kid who is in a high school performance charter school kind of deal for jazz, and he's like killing it, but he decided he doesn't want to do jazz anymore.
Yeah.
It's fucking weird. The
That's
synchronicities.
Huh.
Sorry. Anyway,
No, it's okay.
Please continue.
Success. Failure.
Hey everybody, this is a band that I think didn't exist probably after 2008, maybe 2009. But they're a local Albuquerque band called Feels Like Sunday. Really good friends with them. I have hours of footage of them. That was supposed to be a documentary that never happened. But here you go. This one is from their 4th album, I think, and it's called New Year.
Perfect title.
Yep.
For the first show of the year.
Feels Like Sunday, y'all.
Success. Failure. Success. Failure.
And so this kid's like wants to be this good of a drummer. He is going to this school. He plays in like one of the lower bands, not the top of the line. They call it the session band is what they call it. And so J.K. Simmons' character is like, his name is Fletcher in the movie. Fletcher's like, come, sit in and be like second chair or whatever. And like pits musicians against each other, like is just fucking mean. He tells them to show up at 6 a.m. Dude wakes up at like 6:02 and is like running out the door at 6:05, only to find out the class doesn't start till 9. Like it's super crazy.
Brutal.
It's really, yeah, and that kind of stuff is like amazingly brutal. Like you're watching it and you're like, how am I getting all wrapped up in this like pretty much almost 2 character story, about jazz music? Like, I mean, we can appreciate music like that. Like I was telling Kayla, like jazz is like the fucking science. It's the top. Like if you can do that, you can do any style of music because it is so complicated. It's as far as we've been able, like as far as our technology's ever taken us, as far as our musical abilities have ever taken us, And
what about dubstep, dude?
Yeah.
My favorite thing is it got really fast and then it stopped and then it started again. I'm so impressed. That's my favorite thing when you go to like an electronic music show. Like,
see, they should watch some jazz musicians like these fuckers on like drugs, and then they can they can say they have had a real experience because like. So the thing that they kind of show you, and again, I don't know if you can just appreciate this because you're a musician or maybe in the performing arts, but like when you see like the time signature, like one of them was like 14/8. I don't know what the fuck that is.
I don't even want to think about it. Why wouldn't it be 7/4?
Why wouldn't it be anything else? I don't know. Like
we got the lowest common denominator. Oh, I got a joke for you. So today's January 5th,
yeah,
right?
Yeah.
I celebrate 420 on January 5th because I know how to reduce a fraction.
Nice.
That joke caters to the lowest common denominator.
Well played. Whatever, man. If you said that in a math class, those kids would think it was so cool.
You didn't even get the punchline. It caters to the lowest common denominator.
Oh.
Come on.
God
Come
dang
on.
it. Dang it. I was too busy complimenting your joke.
Thanks. It's one of those 2-parters. Fucking combo. Right, left.
Didn't even see it coming.
Take the body and then the jaw.
But it was a good movie. It was really fucking good, and it wasn't super long, and it was super intense. And music-wise, it probably was great to see in a theater, just because you get to hear all that fucking music, like, you know, blasting through that kind of system. So it received quite a bit of like attention last year or the year before, 2014. Even Oscars-wise, I think it was like nominated for something, which was cool. Would have been cooler if one of the characters was black at least.
Why? Maybe there's no black people in this school.
There were a bunch, but there was no reason for there not to be. But
was there any reason for there to be?
No, not necessarily.
So yeah, well, I mean, why be offended? That's what I say.
I'm not being offended. I'm just saying it was great, but you know, after a while, you're kind of like, oh man, Ken doll is always a stand-in for a male. Fuck, man.
Yeah, that is rough.
You know, because you'd watch fun, like movies like, you ever seen Jawbreaker with Rose McGowan?
No, I'm familiar with the.
Even Marilyn Manson had like a whatever cameo in it.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, and that movie always bugged me like when it came out because I was younger and I was always like, this is like fucking like Rose McGowan, cool, keep her, she's fucking amazing. Especially back in the 90s. But like, you know, all the dudes look like 25-year-old, you know, like.
Right. But they're supposed to be in high school, right?
Yeah. Yeah. And it was just like, oh man, why can't we get some people our age?
Yeah.
Kind of thing.
Because you can't put teenagers in those crazy situations.
You know who did though was Larry Clark, man. He made that fucking movie Kids. That was crazy.
It's a classic.
Ah, man.
I have no legs.
I have no legs. It's crazy. I don't know. It's a crazy world, man. Crazy world.
It's weird. So there's someone out there, probably more than one person, but someone out there recut the first 3 Star Wars movies, episode 1 through 3.
Yeah.
Sorry, I'm going to talk about Star Wars again. I'm on a kick.
No, it's okay. I went and saw it again this weekend.
Oh, nice. I almost did, but then I didn't. But so someone recut episodes 1, 2, and 3, right?
Yeah.
They took out all the bullshit they could.
Yeah.
And dubbed over, like, like the super racist, like, Asian fish aliens that are like aso or whatever they say. He just like completely dubbed over their voices and just made it alien gibberish and put subtitles.
Oh, nice.
And did the same thing with Jar Jar.
Oh.
And it's such a relief.
So much
and he's
more.
barely in it. Jar Jar's barely in it. Like only when he had to be.
Yeah.
Like in the second one, he only has like one line in the whole recut movie.
Yeah.
But watching it, what struck me was, because you still can't hide that they're not that good.
Right.
It makes them better, but it's still like so many times I had to ask my lady, like, wait, what's going on? Because she's all into Star Wars, so she knows the whole history.
Yeah.
So I had to be like, wait, why is this movie called Attack of the Clones? Because are clones going to attack at some point? Because we're an hour and a half in, and they're talking about clones, but nobody's attacked.
I would like to see some clones attacking.
Speaking of which, what the fuck does the Phantom Menace mean? What is that? Is it referencing like the Sith?
You want to know what's funny is I was like thinking about that today. I was like, to me, it always goes back to that fucking poster of like young Anakin and Darth Vader's shadow kind of thing. So I guess, like, I don't know.
So Anakin is the Phantom Menace? Or Vader is the Phantom Menace
Vader
within Anakin.
Yeah. I mean, that's the only way I can look at it, that it doesn't make me want to like punch myself in the face.
So I realized like 10 minutes into watching episode 2 that I've never seen it.
Episode 2?
I thought
You've
I
never
had
seen Attack of the Clones?
But until last night I had never seen it, which is funny. All the shit I'm talking about Star Wars, like I know what I'm talking about at all, and I've never even seen one of them. But
I guess that one was difficult to sit through.
Honestly, and maybe it's because I watched the recut version and they improved it so much or whatever. I thought it was pretty good. Like maybe I'm crazy. And yeah, the acting at times was rough. But like, especially, and maybe it's because I watched episode 1 the night before and it's just so much AIDS in my eyes that I need fucking AIDS eye drops or whatever. HIV eye drops. H eye drops V. I don't know. There's nothing there. Anyway.
I'm trying.
I'm doing my best. Yeah, but I kind of liked the second one. It was, and honestly, like, everyone's always bagging on Hayden Christensen, who played Anakin, right?
Right.
And I'm watching him, and I'm like, he's not that bad. Like, especially considering the fact that you got Jimmy Smits, Samuel L. Jackson, Natalie Portman, all in this movie, who are all great actors, usually. And for whatever reason, George Lucas worked his magic. I don't know if he just made them all do every scene till it sucked and went with that one, or what. But it's just like, or maybe it's because they didn't understand the script either. Yeah. So they're just kind of saying their lines and looking around like, is this what is, do I sound like I know what I'm talking about?
Right.
Is this okay?
Yeah.
The Senate, the Trade Federation.
The writing's very unfortunate in the first 3 movies.
Yeah, but, oh man, Anakin's fucking mom, dude. She should have been in the room. I swear to God. Like, I'm just, how did this happen? How was George Lucas like, yes, that's the take, print that shit?
Right.
Like, what? Like,
right.
How do you get Samuel L. Jackson to suck that badly? How is it possible? It's fucking magic. He's a genius, apparently. He's an evil genius. Dude, did you hear Lucas is talking shit?
I did. I didn't read it. I heard something about white slavers, which always makes me laugh.
I don't even understand. Was he saying, so he called Disney white slavers,
I guess?
Is he saying white slavers and that they're white people who enslave, or that they enslave white people?
Probably that they enslave white people.
I don't understand.
I guess. I don't know. I mean, I don't know why he would say that. That sounds like the craziest. It's like whenever somebody's always like, oh no, not my child. They'll sell them into white slavery.
Right.
And you're like,
as if like white slavery is worse than just slavery. Is that right? Like,
they treat white slaves even worse. It's just a step above. It's just a little bit nicer. We get to sleep on pillows instead of hay. That's white slavery.
Yeah, they put fucking. They only put gonorrhea in the blankets instead of like full blown AIDS, you know,
or syphilis. So it's a slow decay.
Right.
Somebody put out. They released disc. All I can think of is a specific file, ISO files, disk image files, of the original 3 unspecialized editions. I think is what they called them.
So what does that mean?
So they took all the stupid changes that have been made over the years and like created a Blu-ray with just all the original shit.
Nice.
The way it was cut.
Is that not available?
Nope.
What?
It has not been available on Blu-ray. They've only released in '97. They released the special editions, and then they released them on DVD. Like
so, the only commercial Blu-ray you can buy has fucking Jabba the Hutt walking around at the cantina and shit.
Yep.
Ugh, God.
Yeah, no, it's terrible. So, but it's really interesting. The fans, it's all the fans shit. Like you were talking about this recut. That's the fans shit. You know, the fans are like putting it right, I guess, if you will. Like, I don't. So having watched it again, I don't know. We said spoilers last time, so spoiler alert. But like, when I was watching that part where like Rey is like doing her shit on a Rilo
when he's interrogating her.
No, when she finally gets a lightsaber and the second time around or whatever, and she's like
the final fight scene.
Yes, that part is so fucking great. Like I can't even. I'm still when I was watching it the second time, I knew it was coming, but then like getting to watch it again, I was like, oh my God.
How was the fight between Finn and him the second time in the light of what we were talking about as far as
like somebody dying?
That Kylo Ren was just toying with him, and that's why he was able to hold his own for like 5 minutes until Rey could get there.
Maybe because I mean he like dispenses with him,
but
within no time. Seems like.
Not really. They fight a little bit with the swords. Like if he wanted to, he could just eviscerate him instantly.
Yeah.
With one, like, yeah. I mean, he could just Jedi mind trick him into standing there while he stabs him if he wanted to, right?
Right.
So, to me, like that was a lot of people. That was a criticism. Did we not talk about this?
Yeah, we did.
Okay. So that was like a criticism, and what I was saying was that the reason he was able to hold his own for that long is because Kylo Ren is arrogant and crazy, and he just was having fun fucking with him before he killed him, like a cat batting a mouse around.
I needed to watch that again.
Okay.
With that in mind, I had totally forgotten about that conversation, but yeah, there are other things too. So when the planet like blows up at the end, it's not like the Death Star just like obliterated, like, and for some reason I had forgotten what happens because I thought, oh, does this thing turn into like a black hole or whatever? And it just turns into a star. So
really?
So in a literal way, the light side of the Force is bringing light. Like
interesting.
It's pretty interesting because even, in the not so heavy-handed literal way, they're destroying stars by sucking the life out of them. The dark side it's creating darkness, which, some people are so busy complaining about, I guess the larger, it's a remake, it's a reboot, whatever, that they like miss out on really cool details about, how far to me, like one of the original writers of the
I don't remember his name, but he wrote Empire Strikes Back, right?
Yeah.
And I think did he write Jedi too?
I think he wrote Jedi, yeah, or like co-wrote.
I don't remember his name, but yeah.
I can't either.
But he co-wrote on this one too.
Yeah, and so they were talking about the story process for this, and like, I don't know. On the one hand, I still kind of don't like the monster in Han's.
I don't mind the idea of it. It just didn't look good.
But I was appreciative of like how much how hard they try to like use practicals. So like when Finn gets cut off of
at
it,
the
that's
very
like
right.
That's like a real thing, you know.
Because when when the door shuts and he has the tentacle wrapped around his leg.
Yeah. And so I don't know, and how many of the creatures on the screen are actually like real? Even the like gigantic ones, even that one that's drinking water. When Finn's like all thirsty, that's like fucking real.
And especially, and I can say this in light of having watched episode 1 and 2 the last 2 nights.
Yeah.
Just, you can't stay in the story when there's obvious fake shit for no reason on the screen every 2 seconds.
Yeah.
Like, and you can feel it in the actors too. Because they're in all those first 3 movies, they're just standing in front of a green screen the whole time.
Yeah.
And it's like
there's no movement.
They're not into the atmosphere. They don't feel like they're in space fighting monsters with light swords, laser swords. So, like, I don't know. I will say in closing, I'll try not to talk about Star Wars next week because it's got to get annoying if anyone's listening every week at this point. But my one big gripe with the Star Wars universe is the coincidences. In episode 1, the fact, I'm not pissed that C-3PO is in it. He should be. That's cool.
Yeah.
I'm okay with that much of a coincidence. But the fact that Anakin built C-3PO is some goddamn bullshit. It's unnecessary and fucking stupid.
I think they had to like keep it with the script though at some point, like from the first 3 movies, because he like mentioned C-3PO's like, I was built by your father.
Oh, really?
I don't know. Maybe.
I don't think so.
See, I don't know the.
Maybe in the special edition.
I don't know the universe that much.
Yeah, I don't either. We're not qualified to even have this conversation publicly.
I think I'm qualified to like criticize a movie though, filmmaking. Like if you're a fan of them, I guess. What's wrong with you? But if you have a problem with the new stuff, then again, I have to kind of like ask, because. Again, you like from a filmmaking, even just from a filmmaking standpoint, you can't fuck with real shit. Like if there's something real and you're shooting it, I mean, that's what used to be. To me, that's like what the movies were about originally. It was about taking us somewhere else, not a fucking computer. It was about taking us to a place we'd never been, shooting things that we would never see, like having moments that, can't be recreated.
So the reason that episode 4 was so great when it came out, Star Wars, A New Hope, was they did the very best they could do with the technology they had to tell this great story that they had.
Right.
Episode 1 through 3 is finding excuses in the story to use as much effects as possible. It's like reversed. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It's like the effects were driving the story rather than using effects when it's needed to make the story the best it could be, which is what they did in 4 through 6. And that's why 1 through 3 are so awful.
Success! Failure!
Konnichiwa, bitches. This is Lowki Sapfoot. This is The Problem with Everything. And this song is by myself, Lowki Sapfoot, featuring my homies, Holiday Sale.
Yay.
And it's called The Only. Check it out. I stole that name from a Static X song subconsciously. I didn't realize it till like a month ago or so. Maybe it was a couple months ago. I was listening to Static X. I was like, what's this song called? And I looked, it was The Only. I was like, oh.
What?
Huh, that's where I must have got that.
Cool.
All right. Anyway, enjoy the song.
Yay.
Success! Failure!
The only thing in my life is this breath. taking life, each exhale is death. Each step right off the cliff, each trip with its own logic. Infinite, spin it right round. Does the record skip or better the wits? God and the devil, apocalypse is on a loop, so lick your lips, shake your hips, feel your heartbeat tick. Rock to this, it is right now again. Get down to the ground and push the love in. Pound out the hate, can't separate black from the white, the color from gray. Above from below, predator from prey. We don't know which way, and that's why we pray.
Paints and dusty notebooks, camouflaged hearts and sideways looks. This rhythm's the only thing. This moment's the only place. This rhythm's the only thing. This moment's the only place.
In darkness, incubate in the lab until we sprout wings to sing the devils down. Drowning out the screams, not packing up the dream yet. The swing set, sunset, all bets are off. Black clouds gather, the thick smoke coughs. Sadder it gets, you'll pick on my locks when we get our wish. Drift with the current, the blur it's become unsure and unspun. Never undone, never run from your sunlight, my love. Above the grain is heinous mania, saving ya a spot right by the stage. In the meantime, let yourself be saved. Let out your rage. Cages can't hold us, cages are bogus. Hate can't control us.
Dried up paints and dusty notebooks, camouflaged hearts and sideways looks. This rhythm's the only thing. This moment's the only place. This rhythm's the only thing. This moment's the only place. With dried up paints and dusty notebooks, camouflaged hearts and sideways looks. This rhythm's the only thing. This moment's the only place. This rhythm's the only thing. This moment's the only place.
This is the part where my heart slows down. The ground envelops me, not bound to sound. Sight, touch, we fight. Too much inside, the ride won't stop. Buckle up in the twilight of my dark night. The bright love slept till the sunlight wept and faded. Hatred, anguish. In the tiny hours, the pain fertilizes the flower. Bloom in the aftermath. We'll sit back and laugh when we think of the tear-stained ink. Drink to the past and walk down the path. The sunbath heights where nights fly by.
Success! Failure!
This fucking kid was immaculately conceived. Did he really say that in the movie? I had forgotten that, and I've heard people talk about it, and I thought it was like a joke, right?
Right.
And he says it in the movie, and actually the one I watched, that was cut out.
Yeah.
So I didn't actually see it, but we were talking about it, and I was like, wait. He says that in the normal version of this? That's actually a thing? That the metachlorians just impregnated his mom? Are you serious? Oh my God. What the fuck? Yeah. Anyway. I don't know.
Man. Yeah, trying to explain it. That's one of those things that's really hard about universe creating is how much do you want to explain away? Like, how much do you want to give away? Like,
Right.
Does it have to be science-based? I don't,
Yeah, well, because it makes, if you're creating a story, it makes it more realistic not to explain everything.
Right.
But it's a fine line.
It is.
How much do you reveal while keeping mystery to make it a realistic world?
And I'm sorry, like, the original 3 movies had like a mystical element to them. There was mysticism there, Even it gets like named out in like the first one to Vader. You follow that like mystical mumbo jumbo or whatever, and then he's like, I'm gonna choke you with the Force, and even though it doesn't sound like that,
Yeah.
You know, so when you explain shit away to science, it like absolutely destroys the mysticism there. You know, like the cool thing about the Force is that like it could be, you know, possible for somebody to be able to use it without even knowing they're able to use it. You know, I mean, I guess that's like the point of the movies is there's like not a lot of people with the Force left or something. I guess like it's run out of people.
So when he was 30 or however old, when he's let's say he's 35 in episode 2, Obi-Wan can fall like, I don't know, 400 stories, like,
Yeah.
and then land on a car. Or actually, it was Anakin, I guess, that did that. Right?
Yeah.
Whatever. I don't know. I saw it last
But Obi-Wan
night. I should remember this.
grabs a thing and rides it. A fucking
Right. So you can, and they can jump. At one point, Obi-Wan jumps like 30 feet up in the air onto this platform. And I'm like, so if they can do all this shit, and I get that he's older, but why did Obi-Wan just instantly get killed by Vader in episode 4? What the fuck? That doesn't make any sense. If they're goddamn superheroes, which apparently they are in episodes 1 through 3.
yeah.
Like, I don't know.
Yeah.
So many gripes. It's just so many times I'm like, what the fuck? And these were in versions that they cut off. Episode 1, they cut off 45 minutes of the movie.
Yeah.
Like the whole sequence where they go in the underwater adventure with Jar Jar and meet the king of his people and shit. They cut that whole sequence.
Yay.
Like they meet Jar Jar, and then the next scene is them getting the senators or whatever that are getting attacked in the street and saving them.
Yeah.
Like so much better.
It's. I mean, again, what was the thought process? You put in your characters on the other side of the planet where they need to be on as an excuse to go underwater, under the sea. Under the sea, yeah.
Is that like, why they did that?
I don't know. That's the only thing I can think of, like logically looking at it from a story standpoint. Like when you're thinking about like, but I don't know how that serves anything. I don't know how that serves. Like, is it so we could get to know Jar Jar and his people and be like, oh, I really like him. He's not just fucking annoying every moment he's on screen, and I hate this. What the fuck?
He's not bad when his voice is just alien gibberish and there's a subtitle that says something sensible.
Yeah.
It's not bad at all.
Oh,
like,
that'd be cool to see.
It is still bad in that he looks like an action figure walking around with real people.
Right.
But, you know.
I don't know. Those movies are problematic.
And I don't get it. Because why... Isn't it easier if you're making that movie to not animate the whole body?
Right.
To have the actor just do practical effects and animate the head, right?
I think it would look. I think that's a perfect marriage between what you can and can't do.
You use CGI when you need it, not just to use it.
Yeah.
Right.
I don't. He was on this kick of like trying to digitize everything. He was trying to do the James Cameron thing, which honestly, I don't know. Avatar was.
I've never seen it.
If it
I feel the same way about it as Titanic. I'm not going to see it.
I'm indifferent to. Yeah, I've never seen Titanic either. I could not sit through that. But like, I mean, Avatar. It's got some cool moments, but that's it. I mean, it's not like it didn't change anything for me. Like, it's dances with Smurfs.
Right. I feel like it should have been a music video, and it would have been great.
Oh, yeah.
Just
should have been
4 minutes long. That's it.
But it's just like, okay, I'm seeing all this cool stuff, but again, it's a computer. So fucking what? Mm-hmm. Like, at least in Jurassic Park, even the new one that came out, you know, they shot on location. They made a cool, you know, it was a cool place, like, or it was an actual place that, you know, and that's the thing that Fury Road did really good too. Did you see Mad Max? Fury Road? Holy shit, man! You gotta fucking watch that. You gotta figure out some way to get a copy, cause like that fucking movie is amazing, and you would think that it's all practical, but it's not. Like a lot of the parts use CGI, but they use it in such a good.
But they do it more for like the background.
Yeah,
stuff.
They use it in such a good way that like you're not gonna notice it as you're watching it. It doesn't ever enter your mind that there's any reason there needs to be a computer to do this. You know, so I think you're right. I think the thing is you do whatever you can on screen and use a sparing amount of, you know.
Yeah.
CGI.
Is it that it's cheaper? Is it cheaper to just pay one animator or whatever, or an animation
It's cheaper
team?
now at this point. It used to be more expensive back in the like early 90s. But yeah, it's a lot cheaper to go CGI, and it's more controllable. And I don't know. I don't want to be like it's lazy, but it's kind of lazy. I feel like it's kind of lazy.
Yeah.
Shit, I had a really good example, but anyway, here we are in Star Wars talk. How was everybody out there?
30 minutes later. Sorry, guys. I'm going to do my best not to bring up Star Wars next week. Hopefully it'll be out of my system by next week. That'll be good.
It's okay. It's kind of fun. It's kind of fun to like be a part of something like that.
It's cool. What it comes back to, we're still talking about Star Wars. So are you familiar with Joseph Campbell and the Hero's Journey?
Yeah.
So he's like this professor of like literature and history or whatever. Not history, but literature.
Yeah.
And mythology, I guess. So sort of history. Archaeological, mythological stuff. And
Odin and all that shit.
He had the concept of the hero's journey, which is basically every story ever, where you go through you have this hero that the audience identifies with, and he loses what his normal life is, and he goes through this transformational experience and becomes the hero. And that's what Star Wars all comes back to, and that's why it's like universally applicable to anything. Like that's why people are so obsessed with it, because it's such a good use of that kind of thing,
right?
That anyone can take something from Luke Skywalker or Darth Vader, their story, and apply it to their life. And that's why it's awesome.
And that's kind of the mass appeal of it. It's like, everybody's familiar with it, and it appeals to a lot of people because it's always about that like normal dude making something happen. See, I think somebody was saying that it should have been Obi-Wan's story in the trilogy.
First trilogy?
Yeah. Yeah, him meeting Anakin and then like trying to make these things happen with Anakin, and then, it all goes bad. Mm-hmm. That would have been, holy shit, way more interesting. I mean, if you even wanted to start that, where would you start that? You'd probably start that as like Obi-Wan's childhood or whatever, and how maybe he becomes a Jedi, and then boom, fast forward to him like, meeting Anakin, and then it could have gone so good. And one of the like thing that I really have a problem with when people bag on the new movie is like, they're not doing anything any different. They're just trying to like, because now the story is going to go probably in directions we couldn't see coming.
I hope so. I hope they don't make them twins, man. I really do.
Because I think one of the things I heard about, and I don't know who wrote it, and I don't know if it has to do anything with actual J.J. Abrams or whatever, but like the idea is you prove that you can do a Star Wars movie by having enough things in there where you're like, that's a Star Wars movie. We just did a Star Wars movie. So that the audience is like, oh, we trust you. And then you take it somewhere else, hopefully.
Right. That's what I think, too. Yeah.
So I'm excited. I mean, you've already kind of gotten it by the fact that, like, Finn and Rey are, like, left to different fates right now. So who are they going to meet up in the next one? Maybe they won't. Maybe they won't meet up until the one after that.
Oh, they're going to do some boning. I'll tell you that much. They're going to make beautiful biracial children that will have the Force. And when episode 28 comes out and their daughter or son or whatever, they're transgender. I don't know. Anyway.
Yeah, no.
Their transgender daughter son will save the universe.
Oh, man.
Yeah. I noticed... I don't know, whatever. I'm tired of talking about Star Wars. But if you wanna try to like the first three, they're on YouTube in their entirety. Look up the anti-cheese edit.
Anti-cheese edit?
Anti-cheese of episode 1, 2, and 3, and they're much better. So yeah.
I believe it. I believe it can be done.
Well, all right. Well, I'm sorry we talked about Star Wars for the whole time again. I'm not sorry. Fuck you, maggots.
You love it when we abuse you.
Yeah, you motherfuckers.
It's the kind of audience we have.
Hopefully we're going to have a guest next week. Maybe we'll hear from this week's guest and we can reschedule for next week. Because he lives like a block away, too.
Oh, really?
I thought it was a slam dunk. I thought we had this shit in the bag, you know? Thought it was a gimme putt, and that shit at the last minute, curved to the right.
Right.
Big gust of wind came up and blew the field goal back, and it was a 10-yard field goal, and we fucked it up. But anyway.
Good stuff.
You got anything you need to tell the people?
Nothing,
the nice people?
Nothing yet. We're just, we're taking a break. Probably going to record some music this week. I am going to try finally to do my weekly episodes on YouTube about comic books.
Did you think of the name yet?
I'm
going with?
I'm going with Comic Core Nerd.
I like that.
Just because I can change. Well, one, because the theme song is really easy. It's just screamo, hardcore punk. And then whenever I want to do something else like movies or video games or whatever, I can have Gamer Core Nerd or Film Core Nerd. And, you just change the first word and it should be easier. But you know what we should do if anybody listens?
What should we do?
This would be interesting. We should just do a logo contest. We can either have some logos for people to choose from. They can vote on them. Or we could just see if anybody sends us anything. I doubt anybody will, but...
They might. I don't know. I feel like I'm too vain for that. I'm just gonna be like, I could do better. I'm just gonna make one.
All right.
Sorry.
Well, let's make like a couple, and then we can have people vote on them at least.
All right.
And if it sucks, it's your fault, listener.
Right. All right. I'll make a couple. Now I have to make more than one. Jesus.
Maybe I'll make one. I'll see
All
if
right.
I can muster anything up from my atrophied artistic muscle.
Me too, dude. That's my big resolution this year. Gotta fucking
get back on the arting.
Yeah,
art harder.
Gotta do something.
You sound like a seal. Art harder.
Art harder.
Art harder.
Yeah, it's rough. It's just you go to work for 8 hours
and it sucks the life out of you, and not in a fun way, not like horror.
Well, it's not that like my job's fine and everything, but it's still a job that makes me tired, and I get home and I don't want to do stuff that takes focus or effort.
I still have to think about shit that I don't want.
I just want to play video games and stare at nothing. Like I don't know. I gotta figure this shit out.
It's okay. You're in the plane of niceness. See, that's what happens. I was telling this to Kayla because I was like, we haven't written any good songs because there's not any fucking drama. Shit's all like nice and happy, and everybody's doing okay, and there's just no. Sometimes whatever moved that artistic muscle was the angst, man.
You should have just stopped like mid sentence while you were saying that and just like pulled her hair real quick, just super hard, like pull out a chunk of hair and then just see what happens. And then
or just
if
you
guys make up after that fight, you could write a song about it. See, that's how you make things happen. Making moves,
It's a great idea.
Stirring the pot up. Stir it up, little darling, in the words of Bob Marley.
A good man makes his own luck.
All right. Yeah, this has been The Problem with Everything. I'm Lowki Sapfoot.
And I'm Holiday Rob.
And we'll see you next week.
Peace out, folks.
Success! Failure!
Hey, everybody. Did you know I was writing a book? Did you know I'm still writing it? It's just taking a backseat to a comic book I'm collaborating with somebody with.
Holy shit.
But Death Panel Socialites is the name of the book series. Yeah, it's going to be 8, just like Harry Potter.
Hot
and
waffle.
mostly it's just going to be somebody yelling somebody's name the whole time.
Harry Potter!
Harry Potter! But anyway, so this is a song from the music that goes with the story, and it's called The Outer Rings by Death Panel Socialites.
See you next week, y'all.
Yes, peace out.
Success! Failure!
Electrically feed my veins.
show, a good night, or hell no, a goodbye, or I don't know, no, I don't know. Hello, world from the outer rings. You're looking so wonderful today. Yeah. Hello, world from the outer rings. You're looking so beautiful this morning, girl. Hello, world from the outer rings. You're looking so wonderful today. Yeah. Hello, world from the outer rings. You're looking so beautiful, so wonderful, girl. Oh yeah. But this can last forever. Do they know? Do they even know that this can last forever? Do we know? Do we really know?
Success! Failure!